when you're looking for people for your academy, are you looking for new grads? Are you looking for experienced people? What is it that what are the criteria?
It's an excellent question. So one thing we've learned over the years, or at least I've learned over the years, is you can teach anybody to be a sales engineer, um, provided that they have a few core attributes and a desire and to learn to be a sales engineer, and they'll be happy in the role. So those attributes largely lead towards, long-term fit. Are you outgoing and personable? Or if you're not outgoing and personable, can you get on board with the idea of talking to people for 8 hours a day? Because if that sounds like a bad time to you, let's talk about a different role. Maybe something in demo support or something where like it's not customer facing. Because so much of this role is about giving of yourself and listening actively and communicating and problem solving on the go. And that can be really draining if that's not something that is a big driver of you personally. Um, we're looking for folks that have a demonstrated technical curiosity, right? So much of sales engineering is that engineering piece, right? Problem solving, taking what you hear, translating those needs into a solution, and then communicating that solution back to them. But you have to be able to conceive of the solution, build the solution, or at least a representation of the solution, and craft that presentation. And it's got to land. It's got to be the right problem. Per your previous story, we don't care about this. That doesn't necessarily mean they don't care about it. It just doesn't mean that it's their biggest priority at the moment.
Yes.
So that's a major skill we're looking for, is like, can you analyze, dissect, and solution, or do you have the capacity to do that? The other things that we're looking for specifically in academy is that you haven't been a sales engineer before. If you've been a sales engineer before, go onboard the regular way. Go find a sales engineering job. That's not what SE Academy is all about. I really wanted to ensure that we were keeping the diversity of influences, of perspectives, of experiences growing and fresh within the organization. And that's something that came down from my VP. Like, that was a major strategic imperative, is how do we bring new folks into the sales engineering world? Because globally, I think we've seen a massive spike in demand for sales engineering, right? People are starting to recognize all over various industries how important it is to the sales process and how important it is to long-term success in terms of your customers. But on the flip side, I don't know where you're finding more sales engineers, because nobody's exactly going to school and majoring in sales engineering. Nobody's going to their kindergarten or first grade teacher with a drawing that says, I want to be an SE when I grow up. That's not exactly high on anybody's list. And in fact, I didn't even know what sales engineering was when, I first became one. And that has been a common refrain across every single person that I've had that initial conversation. See, you're raising your hand too. Like, what is an SE? I don't get it. Even describing it is sometimes difficult because it means different things at different organizations. We still suffer from that identity crisis. But what Academy offers is a way to say, hey, you're looking for a career change. You're looking for something new. You're looking to jumpstart your career. You're looking to rejoin the workforce. You're looking to change industries altogether. You've always wanted to break into tech, but there's been some type of ceiling that you keep running up against, that experience ceiling, what have you. Here's a way to break through. Here's a way to make that change. As long as you're willing to learn, commit, get creative, dig in, you'll be successful. Like any sales engineer, just learning along the way.
So two things. The first job that I took that was a sales engineering job was actually called systems engineering. In my mind, I was going to be an architect. Like, oh, I'm going to create systems. And then I applied to the job, found out it's a sales engineering, and got the job. So yeah, there's a million titles. But one thing I want to add, like you mentioned, if you don't want to do demos or you want to talk to customers 8 hours a week, I want to say that there are companies that I don't have to do that as a sales engineer in my current company.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of field engineering. So you may not be if you want to talk to people 8 hours a day, then maybe what I do is not good for you, but Smartsheets is, and vice versa. Right. So if you're not in a good SE one company, it doesn't mean you won't be a good SE for another, or you'll hate it somewhere else.
Right. That's good to know. So if I ever get tired of talking to people, I know I need to go someplace where I get
Yeah, yeah. Well, I find that like a lot of field sales engineers, those who have to go visit customers, they don't visit as many customers as people who are in the room, like just doing one call after another. So commercial, it's more talking to people 8 hours a day. Enterprise is less, from what I found. I don't know. You've done both, so you tell me.
Yeah, I would say commercial is higher volume than an enterprise motion. I used to do probably 3 sites a week, 2 to 3 sites a week with potentially, 1 to 4 demos per site. And that was in the enterprise space. Going to commercial, it would be more 2 to 3 demos a day with, downtime for solutioning,
Right.
product training, personal enrichment, what have you.
Yeah. So I guess the tip is, if you're interviewing for a job, make sure you know what the role looks like. Because you mentioned that every job, every sales engineering job, although it's the same title, could be completely different.
Absolutely. Yeah. And finding the right alignment is so important, because there's a lot of opportunities out there, and probably one for you if you thought, well, sales engineering could never be for me. I mean, case in point, this conversation just proves that there's a whole myriad of
Different
opportunities
flavors
out there. Yeah.
Yeah.